of Engineering. Glad to have back Troy White. Hey, Troy.
Hey, Bart. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's always good to be back.
Thanks for taking time out of the busy summer construction season.
Yeah, we got a lot going on right now. We're like right in the thick of the season.
Yeah, and it seems like the weather's been pretty cooperative.
Yeah, it has been really. And when we haven't had those like 3-day rains. I think we've gotten 3 days worth of rain in an hour a couple of times. But for the most part, our contractors have really been able to keep working. We haven't lost much time due to the weather.
Good.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, today we're going to look at some of the projects.
Okay.
Our own Noah Baker went out with the JTV cameras and found some work zones. First up, we'll start with Grenal at Wildwood, a very busy intersection.
Yeah. Well, Grenal is part of a bigger package. We've gotten some state revolving fund loans to really make an impact on our undersized water mains. And Grenal is part of a package of about 10 roads where they've got 4-inch water mains. Most water mains in the city are either 6-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch. When we replace water mains now, we don't use anything less than 8. Well, some of these roads, like Grenal, is still on a 4-inch pipe. And it was probably undersized the day it was built back in 1919 or whenever it was built.
1919?
Yeah, that's how old these water mains are in a lot of parts of the city. Huh. So it's undersized, it's probably corroded, and the size has deteriorated even more. So when we get those 4-inch water mains replaced with a new 8-inch pipe, we're improving water quality, less rust and less stuff like this, and we're also improving flows, domestic flows and fire flows. So there's a lot of upside to it. And it's a
so those folks notice the shower working a lot better.
It will be when they get done.
Yeah.
It will be. And I had one guy joking once, you got to run around in the shower just to get wet, But the other part, when we're doing the water mains like this, yes, we're replacing the undersized water main, but it's also an opportunity for us to get more of those lead service lines out of there and replace them with copper and just be done with the lead. So it kind of kills two birds with one stone. We're improving the water main and getting those lead service lines out.
And the goal will be entirely lead-free as a city eventually.
Well, it's a goal and a requirement. It's the law. Yeah. So we're pursuing that in a number of different ways. We've got city staff that's out there working on them. We've got multiple contractors working on them. So every opportunity we get to get a lead service out of there, we're taking it.
Yeah, and we don't know yet because the budget has not been, the state budget, which was just approved overnight, has not been released with all the details. But according to some that have seen parts of it, there will be more money for municipalities to bring some improvements to infrastructure. And I think everyone's hope is that we'll see some more money for municipalities for just that thing.
Yeah, there's, the needs are great. I think we talked about this before. Most of our sewers and our water mains, they were built in like in the teens and the 20s. I think they called it the Roaring Twenties for a reason, because everybody was building everything all at once. So, a lot of that stuff is very old.
Did you find any wooden?
I have not.
Okay.
I was told that back in the 80s there was a section of wood water main found on Leroy down there by where JCMS was, down by St. John's, but I haven't seen it myself. And people ask, do we have wood water mains? And the answer is always, we don't have a record of any wood water main. But that doesn't mean there might not be a piece in there or not. I doubt there is, but you just never know until you find it, right?
Next, let's go to Elm Street from north. And I know you've had a couple of things going on over there. Yeah, I think you had an emergency repair at one point.
Well, over there on Elm, this is between North and Fleming. Just the pavement was shot.
Oh, okay.
The water main was replaced back in the 90s. So it's just an opportunity for us. We're basically taking the pavement out, going to do some repairs around the curbs where the curbs are broken up, and then we're going to repave it. So all in all, it's going to go relatively fast because we're not doing that underground water and sewer work that we're like doing on places like Grenal and other streets. It's very rare that we have a situation like this where the water main was taken care of in previous decades.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what you're seeing out there. Right now they're currently prepping to do concrete work. One thing that we have to do on every job we do with street work is we have to upgrade the sidewalk ramps. Sidewalk ramps have to be made up to current standard, so that everybody can use them. The concept they call it is complete streets.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say complete streets, it means it has to be complete. It's complete for everybody, all users. So, a lot of times when we think of streets, we think of the motorists or the users, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's also the bicyclists and there's the pedestrians. And here in the city, pedestrians are a big part of it. So all the sidewalk ramps always have to be upgraded. So a lot of times, even when we're paving, the paving work might take a week, but we got to do 2 weeks worth of sidewalk ramps and sidewalk repairs.
Yeah, those look pretty extensive because for wheelchair users or people with other disabilities.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to make sure we have a good landing for them so they can turn and the ramps aren't too steep and there's not big bumps. One thing we did, I probably did it 10 years ago, we used to have to do a lot of continuing education on the subject. And one thing that one group did is they brought in some wheelchairs and we all were supposed to wheel ourselves around downtown. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think just up Michigan Ave and back, but it was enlightening how a little bit of slope really impacts a user, Mm-hmm. So, you always understood the law says this is necessary, but you have an experience like that and you're kind of like, okay, we understand what users really need.
Yeah, very eye-opening.
Yes.
All right. Next to, we'll stay over on Elm. We've got Elm from Blakeley, and that's...
Right. That's one of our local streets on Blakeley between Elm and Pleasant. And that's, that one's getting the full works. We redid the water main, replaced the water main, upgraded it, got the lead services out. We rebuilt the sanitary sewer because we had some old clay and concrete pipe from the 20s. And then we're rebuilding the road with new concrete curb and gutter and new drive approaches, fixing all the toe stubbers and the sidewalks. So at this point, I think they're digging out and getting ready to put the gravel base in. And we're kind of over the hump on that. We're probably about 3/4 of the way through the job. Mm. So it won't be long before they're paving.
New grass.
Yeah, they got the grass done before they've even, get that done. Sometimes our contractors like to wait further till the end, but we always want to get the grass down before we do the top paving.
Oh, really?
Because you don't want them out there. We don't want them out there, and they don't want to do it on their own job. Out there on their machines, turning on the new pavement and marking it up. With such a big investment, it doesn't really impact the pavement structurally or anything, but
it makes it dirty.
Why would you make something look not nice after you put so much work and effort into it and so many resources,
makes
so much
sense.
money?
All right, next we'll go to High Street to South Street.
Yeah, that one is that's like the after picture right there, right?
Yeah.
I think when I was here before, they had it dug out, and I don't know if you remember what that was like.
It was awful.
It was awful. It was like a minefield going down through there. It'll rattle your teeth. So I think 2 years ago, we upgraded the bridge that went across the Grand River. Do you remember that used to be a very narrow bridge? We put a new deck on it, we widened it, and then came back this year and we were able to put a new surface on it. And it was, we basically ground up the old pavement. We call it a crush and shape. Ground up the old pavement, work it into the aggregate base, graded it out and repaved it. So, that's been a long time coming, and a lot of those businesses down there, they've been asking for it for a long time.
Yeah.
So it was good to finally get to it,
Nice.
Especially when it's a gateway into town, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You want people from out of town to get a good first impression too.
Well, and there was work being done on Cooper for a while that people had to find ways around, and that was one. But
right,
you couldn't.
Yeah, we were working on that at the same time. MDOT was working on Cooper, so you kind of had detours that were kind of going at each other. But it's a problem, but it's kind of a good problem to have that there's these investments are being made. We got so much work going on that we have to worry about those type of things. Because 10 years ago, when things weren't getting fixed at all, you didn't really have those problems. So,
well, we know the governor's in her message as she announced her budget being passed by the legislature this morning, said a lot of money is being dedicated to, in her words, fix the damn roads. So hopefully we'll see more local funding.
Well, whenever there's an opportunity to get federal or state funding, our department's right on it. We don't let any of it get by.
Awesome.
Try to capitalize on make the most of each opportunity.
Good deal. Well, thanks for coming in. And with the holiday, there'll be some disruptions of work.
Yeah, it's kind of the midpoint of the construction season. A lot of those guys, they've been working 60-hour weeks since April or something. They look forward to the 4th of July weekend to get an extra day or two off.
They need a holiday too.
And they've earned it.
Good job, guys. All right, Troy, thanks so much. From the City of Jackson Engineering Department, Troy White.